Hello guys, back again to another video, and today I'll be teaching you how to create UI, I guess. So, I just want to get into the video. So, let me just explain you what UI is. It's kind of like what the player sees, not the 3D physical world. They're not actual like object in the 3D world. They're more like just like images, if you know what I'm on about. They're like frames. They're just not real. They're just pixels on your screen. They're not like object meshes. They're just colors, I guess. So, let's start making some UI. So, make sure you have your Explorer open. If you don't, click on View and then Explorer and Properties. So, we have then find started UI, and we've got a few properties. The name started UI, you can't change that. Screen orientation. This is just like what orientation so for example, you have a mobile phone. You know how sometimes you like flip your phone vertically and then it's that basically controls it. So we can just leave it for now. Show development UI. So I'm pretty sure that doesn't do much, but okay. RTL text support. So I don't really know what that is, so I'll let you know. Let's click on that. Let's see. So there's nothing. So
Bruh.
I guess no one knows. So let's start creating some GUI, I guess. So inside it starts a GUI. Click on the plus and add a screen GUI. Now it says absolute size. Basically, that's just the size of the screen. I've got a 2K monitor, so I guess absolute size would be a bit small. I guess the higher the resolution, I don't think it is the better. Maybe. Alright, so we have enabled. So basically, if we uncheck this, every single individual object that's inside it, which is GUI, will not be visible to the player. It's good if it's like, I use it, but I just don't know what example I could use. Reset on spawn. So, for example, if we have a loading screen and you die, you will have to load back in. So it's always good to uncheck that. Z-index behavior. So Z-index, it's basically like what level the GUI is on. Like, for example, level 0 is the lowest. Kind of imagine it like floors. And like, so floor 1 you can obviously see, but anything that's under floor 1 you can't see. So, I mean, it really depends. It's up to your personal taste, but I will choose global for this one. Selection group, there's like, I don't know what that is. Oh, display order. I don't know that too. These are some new stuff. Disappearance. I don't. Clip to device safe area. So on phones, there's like a little bit of screen to the left and to the right that's blocked. I'm gonna pop up a picture of it. So I mean, it depends. If you want a loading screen and want it to feel immersed, I mean, uncheck it. If you want it to like cover the whole screen, then uncheck it, but it might bring with some problems, so just keep it checked. Right, name parent as usual. So we can name it to our first GUI. Right, this can have spaces, but if you want spaces, you can always use underscores. Alright, so let's click a plus, and then we have all of these stuff, but we want to focus on here. So today we're going to leave all of this stuff and we're going to get to frame only. So once you click on frame, there's a little white box that appears on the top right. So this is like a container. Most people like to use as a container. And these little dots are to resize. So look, we can resize that, we can resize that, and you can resize it that axis. You can also left click on the object and move it around. So I'm going to teach you on how to center objects. Alright, so we're back in. So shut up. And with your keyboard too. So we can just move it around, and then boom. If you see like a little green dashed line, that means it's on the center of that axis. So it's on the center of the y axis. Just continue moving it, it will clip. Oh, okay, that's the center. Hold on. So now we have it in the center. Let's look through some properties. Selection image override. So I think that's like for proximity prompts only. I mean, if you want to make a custom one, go ahead. So we're not going to get into that though. So active. So basically, I mean, if you tick it, yeah, if your mouse enters and there's an event, it will do it. If not, then if a mouse hovers over, no event will be called. Right, absolute position. Nothing. It's a read only. Absolute size 2. So automatic size. I mean, this doesn't do anything. Just never. Now anchor point. So this depends where it is. So let me just center. So the anchor point is basically so we have this position. That's the position of the anchor point. So this means like 1. See, it just never stays on. It never moves unless you change the position. It's kind of like an anchor. And I always love to set it to 0.5, 0.5. We're making this 0.5, 0, 0.5, 0. Now it centers the object. So let's continue. Background color 3. This basically changes the color. I mean, we like a blue. And background transparency is basically this transparency of an object. And then border color 3. And there are different borders. So border color 3. This is just the color of the border. Border mode. Like what type? Is it inside? In the mid? Like in where the edges are, in between, or outside of the box. Border size pixels, how thick it is in pixels. So let me show you now what I mean. Inset is inside, middle it's middle-ish, it's like in between, and outline is like outside of the frame. It works the same with like border colors. We just have to set that. Now we have a nice little looking frame. So style, this is not used though. So layout order, we'll get to that later. Name, so let's name it our first underscore frame. So position, it's basically like the position of the element, I mean. So scale is to scale of like the device. So look, the size stays the same, but it's always positioned in the middle. However, if I were to make this in 100, yeah, that's the problem. Most games, I mean, the older games would have used offset because it was much easier. It was on computer. Most people are like, well, normal monitors, so it's always good to keep it like that, and it works same with the Y. X is along, Y is up and down. So then rotation, basically the rotation of the object can be from negative 180 to positive 180. It can be like 400. Well, actually it has to be 180. They've limited it now. So let's just keep it at 0 there. So size 0, 4. So we're using offset, we're using pixels. It's not really great if you want to get into production. So let's make it like 0 0.1, 0, 0 0.1, 0. As you can see, it hasn't changed the size really. And also, before I forget, you can add offsets too. So this is the scale, and then you can add 100 pixels. But let's not do that. And no matter how big it gets, the anchor point always stays the same. So yeah, that's a little cool fact. The anchor point stays the same. Just don't scale it like that. Yeah, it just stays in the same position. There's style. This is like for older games. For example, you can have chat blue, chat green, chat red, custom, which we are using, drop shadow, Roblox round, Roblox square. So these were used in like mainly older games. I mean, you've definitely seen them in like hide and seek extreme, murder mystery. Yeah, they use these styles. So visible is whether it is visible, like that only element is visible and everything inside it. So if we place a frame in here and then click on visible, everything inside of that will not be seen. So let's just delete that. Now Z index, it's basically like the Z position of an element. So 0 is the lowest. I mean, you could go to negative 99, but I like to keep it 0. So yeah, I'm just going to put it back to 1. Now, most of these don't matter. I mean, clip descendants we can talk about later. I think we've got through most of the properties in the frame. So, how about we script? So, let's go into local script, and we can name it our first UI script. You don't need any prior knowledge to scripting, as this will teach you most of the stuff. So, to get an object, we first need to put local and then our variable name. So we can name it first frame. Just to let you know, spaces cannot have names like this. They will catch an error. And then local first frame, you can't, and then you can set this to, for example, the script. So the script we are in, and then dot parent. So let's kind of imagine this script dot parent as a family tree. So let's pretend this is a child, and then this is the child's parent, and then that is the child's parents. In the other way, it works with the other way. So that is the ancestor of our first UI, and that is the ancestor of our first frame. So we've got our first frame. So let's do a bit of local tween service equals game colon get service tween service. Tween service. Okay. Colon play. So let me explain what this script does line by line. So we're gonna tween it so like it's nice and smooth. So we're gonna put game. We're gonna get a service from the game, and then it's gonna be tween service. This allows us to tween objects, make them look nice and smooth. I'm gonna use the tween services create function. We're gonna put the object we want to tween, the tween info. So let me explain what the tween info is. So the tween info, the first argument is the number. Also the argument is like variables you put in for the function or table. So 2 seconds for the tween to play. enum.easingstyle.linear. So it's basically like the slope, like how it tweens. I'll pop up a picture of that right now. And then enum.easing direction. So in, it's playing in a forward direction. Out, it's playing in a reverse. And in out is more like both of them combined. And then this is the repeat count. So the repeat count is basically how much times it repeats the tween. We can do 999999999, but it won't count. To make it forever and ever, we do -1. And that makes it loop forever and ever. Then we have something that's called a property table. So inside the property table, we put in the properties and we set the value. And then it's gonna do some figgy majiggy code, and then it's gonna make it nice and smooth. And then we wanna play it immediately at this point. So let's get out, then press play. Now, as you can see, it fades nice and smoothly. Now, what you could do this for is, literally like that, highlight a player. But we're gonna get to that maybe later on. So let's pause the game and let's continue even more coding. So we're going to delete lines 3 to 5, and then we're going to get on with something different. Wow. Alright, color from HS3, I11. So what this does, it's a while true loop. There's no trust or wait. That's gonna crash. So let's explain what this does. So we're gonna do a while true loop. So this just runs endlessly no matter what. I'm gonna do for I equals 0, 1, 0.01 do. So this is a for loop. So we can assign a variable. It can be y, z, I. People like to call it I. And then this is the number I starts from, the number I ends at, and then the increment of I. So it increases by 0.01 each loop or iteration. I'm going to do a task.wait to stop it from crashing. Then we're going to get the first frame, dot back, and then we're going to change the background color free to color free, not from HSV, I,1,1. Now you may be asking, why not RGB? Why HSV? Because look, alright, so let's start 0 0.1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. See how it acts like a rainbow? Because that's literally what it is. So, let's run it. Then if we run it, boom, we get a lovely rainbow highlight. So I think that's the end of episode 1. I'll now drop some projects for you to do to learn even more. Have a nice day.